As someone who works remotely, my work schedule looks different every day. I have a hard time working in the same place, and I truly have to change up my workplace in order to keep my motivation going. So here's what my life as a digital nomad, currently living in the outskirts of Austin, Texas, looks like. Hi, I'm Alexis, a podcast manager who works with business owners and passionate hobbyists, and I help them level up their podcast visibility with professional audio and video. And because I work remotely, that means my clients do too, and that's why I get to change up my workspace whenever I feel like it. Right now, I'm in Austin, so let's start with Monday. Mondays for me are the days that I have the most motivation, unless I work through the weekend because I'm trying to get ahead and take time off or something. But Mondays are the start of the week, and I'm usually coming off some sort of restful weekend usually, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. I start with checking my calendar to see what I have coming up for the week. It gives me a better idea of when things are due, if I have any discovery calls with any new clients, or even strategy calls with current clients, things like that. After that, I'll usually start working on the podcast that takes me the most time, whether that's because of the length of the episode or the workload I have for that specific podcast. I'll get that out of the way. It also depends on the due date. If I received an episode late, then I'll do my best to get it out in time, unless it's super late and I've already made it clear that my turnaround is a specific amount of days between receiving the content, editing, and then uploading it. I'll work from home sometimes, or I will go to a co-working space, or even just my apartment's clubhouse and work there just to change up the environment. Either way, I work with podcasts, which means I have to have a quieter environment in order to hear the audio that I'm working with. I work best early mornings or early evenings. Midday, afternoon time, I usually hit a wall and will usually scroll my phone, or maybe I'll go for a walk or stretch. I'm trying to get better at exercising or getting movement in because that is something I'm definitely not good at right now. I have a tendency of sitting for long periods of time, and my right knee and lower back are starting to let me know that I can't keep doing that. So walking on a treadmill for 30 minutes or just lifting some weights, getting some movement in, is usually the minimum I shoot for. Tuesdays are pretty similar to Mondays for me. The motivation is still somewhat strong, and I use this as another day to dedicate to the podcast that take up a lot of time. If I'm lucky, I can knock out 2 shows in one day, but right now, dedicating a day to each client is what works best for me. My weeks are really never the same, but hey, that's one of the perks of working for yourself, and I'm not complaining. One thing about me is that my peak motivation is right when I wake up, like early morning. So I almost crawl out of bed, fix myself up a little bit, and then hop on the computer. I know that's not the healthiest way, but that's what I got so far, okay? But I do try to fix myself up a little bit, look more presentable. This also tricks my mind into thinking that I'm getting ready to go somewhere versus hanging out in my PJs all day and scrolling through my phone, and I don't know, it's a mindset thing, okay? There was a period of time where I was journaling or meditating before my day started, but I haven't really been doing that too much lately. I will need to get back into that. For most of my clients, I edit their podcasts, write their show notes, get everything scheduled, things like that. Throughout my day, I may also get messages from other clients and will take a second in between editing to respond. Maybe I'll switch tasks and go from editing to fixing a title that needed fixing, things like that. But I try to stay focused on one client until I'm finished with that, and then I move on to the next thing. Now, the biggest part that I struggle with is signing off by like 5 or 6. On a good day, that happens, but more so recently, I've been working kind of late into the evenings because I'll take off midday. Wednesdays are my days that I take calls, whether it's with potential clients or current ones. I don't know, but something about doing that midweek is just so helpful for me. And I guess it's because we've already gotten most of the hard stuff out from the beginning of the week, and the end of the week is usually when I start to chill out anyway. So Wednesday is more of like my take on all the calls day. I also find that dedicating one day for calls really helps me to focus. Depending on the time of the call, I'll research beforehand whatever it is that we are going to discuss. If it's a strategy call for my current clients, I will usually do some prep work the day before and go through their analytics, their stats, and gather all of the information we need so that way I can present it to them on our call, and then we can make any adjustments, decide what episodes we want to record in the next quarter. I'll put it all together in a Google Doc and share it with my clients on our call, and then we kind of go from there. If I don't have any calls for that week, I'll change up my environment and maybe go to a cafe to do some client work that doesn't require editing. Or if I do have to edit, I'll go to a library or even a co-working space to do that. Being in Austin, there are so many places to explore, but I live far enough outside the city that I don't think it's worth it for me to go to a cafe or a co-working space about 45 minutes out when I can just go to one closer to me. So I tend to go to the same places over and over again. I'm surprised they don't know me by now. Or maybe they do and they just don't say anything. Thursdays. Okay, so we're approaching the end of the week, and by this time, my motivation is not where it was at the beginning of the week. But I think it was important for me to learn this about myself over time. So I start switching my environment around this time of the week. Came to a cafe today, currently working on some client work, and then probably head back home for a little bit, but needed a change of scenery, so here I am. And let me tell you, game changer. I'll usually have one episode that I need to edit or some show notes I need to write, or I'll even jump ahead on client episodes to get us further ahead in our content schedule. Once I do that, then I start checking on all the back-end things that I need to get done in my own business. Welcome to filming day. I am batch recording 4 videos for my YouTube channel. This is my current setup. It is quite messy at the moment. That's the reality, but this is what will be on camera, so that's what I care about most. Part of batch recording, I've already written my scripts. Today is filming day, and then that way I will be ahead for some time, but yeah, this is another part of my business. This is more for my own, less for client work, and yeah, let's see how we go. And then, of course, getting movement in is key because I stare way too much at a screen and usually need to get outside to re-energize myself. So it's important to do that as well for me, especially someone who works from home. Friday, I finish any CEO tasks that I have. I'll usually go back to a cafe and work from there, or I'll just work from home. But another reason why I started this business is to take off time during the week if I need to. I am currently staying with my sister because I am her Uber driver for the next week. But I can bring the work anywhere, so I'm gonna do some work. Whether it's a doctor's appointment, or I wanted to go get my hair cut, or I gotta help out a family member, run some errands. I will take off a Friday, or I'll take off a Tuesday or a Wednesday, depending on whatever I need to get done that day. And when I do that, I'll change my work schedule to fit around that. And that's it. That's a week in my life as a podcast manager currently. If you enjoyed this video or this style of content, let me know in the comments below, or give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.